No, dude, no, stay. No, I need you to just stay in mode. No. If you leave that door, you're going to regret it. We're not doing anything fun today. We'll do that after. We'll do that after.
All right, welcome all our listeners. Welcome to Talk TV Media Network Sports. This is our sport edition, Saturday, today, the 20th of November, 2021. Welcome to the show. Today is Saturday Sports at Talk TV Media Network. Today, prime for discussion on our list is going to be basketball, NBA, what's going on here, who's going to win, your predictions. We'd love for you to call in and be a part of the show. Also, we'll be talking about soccer, what's going on in Africa, and especially Liberia not being able to qualify for the FIFA World Cup in 2022 next year. What can we do for the country, the Lone Star of Liberia, to be able to qualify the next World Cup? Not this one. This one is gone. We lost it. But on the show today, I have a very special guest. My little man is here in the studio today with me. Ezekiel, welcome, man. Welcome, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you. What's your name? Zeke. So you're a basketball guy or soccer guy?
Basketball.
You love basketball. You're a basketball player?
Yep.
All right. Okay. And on the other side over there is my man, my contributor on the show, the legend himself.
Oh my gosh.
Tim the Man. Welcome, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me back. I got my other guy back here with me too as well. We were gonna try to come in today, but had something come up. But yeah, I'm glad to be here, be able to be a part of this, and especially talk some basketball. Excited.
Right. Basketball. NBA, you know, a lot is going on out here with all the Eastern Conference, the Western, whatever you guys call it. But we're going to touch a whole lot about it and see what's going on from this side of this of the word. What's the latest in sports, man? What's the latest? Can you guys give us?
Well, LeBron's back after missing about 8, 9 games. He played last night. I saw a little bit of it. He looked to still be LeBron-esque, but that offense, the defense of the Lakers needs to improve if they want to make any kind of jump in the standings. Even though I know we're only 20 games into the season, just about, and usually
Right,
teams are still figuring themselves out. But
right.
in the Lakers' case, they haven't really had their big three of LeBron, Russ, and AD to kind of figure out what their identity is going to be. So, but they still have time, and it looks like LeBron's not worried. But that's definitely going to be interesting to see the next 10 to maybe about 30 games in right before the All-Star break.
What you think, man? Zeke, what you think about LeBron's back? What do you think? Do you think it's a good thing for the team, or he's not maybe totally healed and they just took a hit, a loss? What do you think about it?
No, it's good. LeBron is back. When while he was gone, I didn't think Russell Westbrook was doing like playing his best, causing like a few loses.
You
While
don't think
LeBron was gone.
Russell was playing his best? What do you think? You think is it because of LeBron's absence or what? You guys are the sport guys. What do you
No,
think?
I honestly think it's because of the system that Russ is in and the type of players that are around in that system. If you look at it, the Lakers roster is mostly of people around my age and older, 30 to I would say 32 to about 36 on average, and LeBron's one of the older guys on the team. He'll be 37 next month.
Right,
Um, So that's a factor, and also too the style of play that Frank Vogel has for that team is he's a defensive minded coach with um with the way that he's coached in the past, especially coming from Indiana and having Paul George in that system, and then going to Orlando briefly.
right.
But in this case, I think the absence of Jason Kidd too is a factor. He's the coach now over in Dallas, and Dallas is looking a little bit better offensively this year. But
Hmm.
when they went on that championship run, Jason Kidd was calling a lot of the offensive sets from the sidelines, and it was very efficient. They're not efficient right now, and that's an issue that they have to work out. 100%, they have to work out.
But let's look at the teams, all the teams, especially the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. Um, Zeke, how many teams in the NBA altogether?
30.
30?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a lot of teams. So, assuming that we have about 15 on the Eastern Conference and 15 on the Western,
Mm-hmm.
that's good. So, on the Eastern Conference side,
Stay with me.
um, this year we have the Nets, the Heat, the Bulls, the Wizards, the Hornets, the 76 six.
76ers.
Seven, you said 76 years.
Just close the door.
The Knicks, the Cavaliers, the Celtics, the
If you're good,
Bucks,
you
the
might get some.
Raptors, the Hawks, the Pacers, the Pistons, and the Magic. Um, what's your analysis from just looking at the Eastern Conference with the Nets having 12 wins so far and 5 losses, or team from your end, and then the Heat are pushing them close by. They're just right there with
It's
11 wins and 5 losses as well.
Yeah, it's still really early in the season. Um, do you need wins now? Of course you do. Um, but overall, for the teams of the East, or I would say the conference for the East, the it's a lot better than it has been in years, especially since a team other than Cleveland or Miami the last 10
Right.
years has won a championship, with that being Milwaukee. But I mean, honestly, right out of the gate, it's Brooklyn's conference to win. Honestly, I personally have Brooklyn winning the conference and probably winning the NBA title. The Heat are a very, very good team as well. I think the additions of Lowry and Tucker have really proven well um, to kind of bolster that defense. that defensive mentality, along with Jimmy Butler. I think Tyler Hero, he's playing out of his mind right now. He leads the league in bench points per game with about 20 to 21 per game coming off the bench. Now, if they can get their three-point shooting intact with Duncan Robinson, that's a team that's viable to win or even viable to get to the Eastern Conference Finals and could win it themselves, barring with some luck in their favor. The bottom half of the conference, the Magic, the Pistons, those are rebuilding teams. They're still a few years out. The middle of the conference, though, like Cleveland, which is actually very surprising. Cleveland's been really good. Evan Mobley's been really, really consistent. I think that with him being out, Cleveland's going to struggle the next couple of weeks. But I mean, they could easily turn around and still be one of those 10 to 9, fighting for a 10 to 9 spot for a play-in game.
Right.
The Hornets are really good. LaMelo Ball's really made a difference, obviously, and they've had some key additions with Kelly Oubre coming in. The Pacers are off to a really weird, slow start, even though they have Rick Carlisle coming back. I'm kind of expecting to see Domantas Sabonis pick up his play and get to.
But from that entire Eastern Conference, do you see a lot of competition this season?
Yeah, I do, 100%. I don't think competition is the problem. I think that teams that are starting slow are dealing with some weird injuries, like the Bucks. But there's also teams too that are gelling well together really, really fast. A good example is the Bulls. The Bulls,
but they're earlier the better though, because if you get a lot, you start up early and you get a whole lot of wins and stuff like that. I think they're better for you.
Of course, it is. It is.
What's your favorite basketball NBA team?
The Thunder, but they're not doing the best right now.
The Thunder? Why do you think they're not doing their best?
I think they're in rebuild mode also.
You got to talk because the people got to hear you.
They're in rebuild mode.
Rebuild mood? Mode.
They're rebuilding.
They're rebuilding.
They lost like their big stars like Westbrook and KD.
So you think because of the Thunder's loss of KD, Kevin Durant and Westbrook, you think that broke the team down? Really?
Yeah.
But you still love them?
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you talking about the Thunder?
Yeah.
That's a whole entire show that you and I could have. That there's a lot of disgruntlings about the organization itself that I have not been pleased with, even when they had Russ and KD together that last 5 years ago. So yeah, that's a conversation for a whole nother day. But I think the Western Conference is still the superior conference in basketball in the NBA.
Really?
Yeah, because historically speaking, I would say the last 15 years, even before the play-in, the difference between the 8th seed and the 3rd seed, right, was an average of 2.5 to 3 games difference. Wow. Whereas in the Eastern Conference, traditionally speaking, for the last 15 years, with LeBron being that conference predominantly, the average, like the difference between being an 8th seed and a 3 seed was it was like 15 to 20 games. Like the Eastern Conference has been bad historically for a while, since the beginning of the 2000s. So, so the fact that both conferences are now looking to get back to an even keel. There's no real team. There's no teams that have all of their all-stars in their prime. It's been really good to watch basketball and see a lot of these teams. Let me ask you this: the chart is set up in a way wherein teams that play the Western Conference, the one that will come up on top is the one that will play the one that will come up on top on the Eastern Conference. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the way. That's the way that that's the way personally I prefer it. Just because of traveling. Traveling's a big deal. In the NBA, a lot of people don't really think about the travel that teams have, because I do remember at one standpoint there, I think it's still on the table to this day. They want to do like the top 16 teams, regardless of conference, and put them in the playoff. I don't agree with that because travel is the main issue. So if you have, say, for instance, LA, or if you have, actually, we'll take the two farthest teams apart. If you have Portland as the 1 seed and you have Boston as the 16th seed, hypothetically speaking, what would happen is if you're playing a best of 7 series or best of 5 series in the first round, actually no, it's best of 7, excuse me, you have, traveling is going to be horrible. Both teams will have to have traveled 6,000 plus miles for a series if it goes to 7 games, and that doesn't make sense at all. That doesn't make sense to do that, honestly. So I think
look at that Western Conference, guys. We have top on the chat right there is the Warriors. They already snatched like 14 points wins, man.
Yeah,
2 losses.
Warriors are good. Warriors are good.
Curry's on.
Yeah, is that because of Curry?
Yeah,
Durant,
it
KD is there.
Yeah. Curry's.
I don't think that. I don't think
from last season.
I don't think it's fair the way they have the Warriors packed with stars, and I don't even know.
Well, I mean, there's only what, one real star. Draymond Green's a really great role player that's elevated too. That's elevated.
What do you mean one really star? You have what's his name? Curry. Clay.
But Clay's in back. But once Clay.
Yeah. Clay's not back,
yeah.
And we don't know how Clay's going to be when he comes back. It's the fact that system that Steve Kerr has set up is is the reason why the team is so successful, because they have good pieces in that system,
right,
around Curry and around Draymond. Like if you think about like the heart and soul of the team is actually Draymond because of what he does defensively, what he does offensively as far as passing and everything. But Curry is the face because he's the one making all of the 30-foot plus shots. He leads the league in 30-foot plus shot percentage. I think I was looking at a stat the other day. I think it's like almost 40% from 30 plus feet beyond distance.
Wow.
He's the reason why the league is where it is today as far as 3-point shooting goes. Him and Clay. We can't forget Clay on that aspect. But he's the sole reason why. And that's why the Warriors are good. He didn't play last night, and the Warriors still won. But if he would have played last night...
I didn't watch that. Steph didn't play last night?
No, he didn't play. Drummond didn't play. They had injuries. They had some nursing injuries. I think Curry was for a hip, and Draymond was for a knee. I think
and it's they still won?
Yeah, they still won. I mean, that team... first off, it's the Pistons. My cousin was at that game last night. So Pistons are the Pistons. Like I said, they're in rebuilding mode, so they're not really expected to do much. Although they did have a chance to tie the game to send it to overtime, but I mean,
so you're looking at from that group, 15 teams from the Western Conference, and for our listening audience out there, we have the Warriors, the Suns, the Jazz, the Mavericks, the Nuggets, the Clippers, the Grizzlies, Trailblazers, Lakers, Thunder, Timberwolves, the Kings, Spurs, Pelicans, and the Rockets. Man, talk to me about it. The Lakers, man. The Lakers. You know,
I mean, we started the show with it. They'll be in it.
I used to be a strong Laker fan. You see how I'm looking right here in my yellow. You know?
I see that. That's how you were with your Cowboys last week. They won, but I mean, that's football.
Hey, don't rub that in there. Yeah, we're gonna. But look at, man, with what's going on with the Lakers and LeBron.
They're not healthy. They don't have all their pieces. They're missing Trevor Ariza and Kendrick Nunn, nursing injuries, and they are still trying to figure out what the pecking order is going to be as far as who has the ball at what situations, how rotations are going to go. Rest time are they going to stagger Russ? Should they bring Russ off the bench? They still have a lot of questions that they're dealing with. That's why they are where they are. So, I mean, there's really not much. There's really not much to really deep dive into that until maybe around the All-Star break or before the trade deadline. So,
wow,
they're not really they're not a shock of where they're at. It's just I think everyone's. But I'll say that there's Laker fan delusion that they're expecting him to be, dominating the conference, which in reality they're not. They're older. They're not. I mean, their average age is 33. Their two youngest players, like their youngest player on the team is 20 and their oldest player on the team is 38, 39. So,
wow.
yeah, it's a small fire that needs to be contained and put out before it turns into a large forest fire if they want any chance of
Really?
of winning of getting to the finals. And the player that really needs to step up, it's not Russ, because Russ is going to do Russ things, and it's definitely not LeBron. It's Anthony Davis. Let's just be quite honest. I'll ask your son this question because he'll know. Who would you rather have, Zeke? Would you rather have Anthony Davis or Giannis Antetokounmpo on your team?
Giannis.
Why?
Because right now he's more dominant. He's playing better. Anthony Davis, he needs to step up.
Yeah, and you're right. I would have Giannis too, and you also have to think about injuries though, right? Because Giannis hasn't really been injured. He really hasn't been injured that much. I mean, he was injured 2 years ago in the bubble off of the ankle injury, but otherwise than that, he's played every single game. He's really durable. Anthony Davis, he could sneeze and pull his right quad and be out for 7-8 games, easy. He's healthy right now, but he's not playing at that pace where we saw him early on with New Orleans. He's kind of playing that. Oh, I can easily, go for, he'll go for a relaxed 30 and they'll lose. But if he plays aggressive and only has, 15 to 25 points, but 13 to 11 rebound or 11 to about 15 rebounds and 6-7 block shots and win the game, he looks a lot better when he plays like that. But right now he's playing too lax, and I think it's just because he's in LA, just because he's in that relaxed culture. When they won the championship in the bubble, which in my opinion that really wasn't a championship, that was just something really sloppily thrown together. But yeah, it really was. He played great, although LeBron did win the Finals MVP. But he's really soft. He's really reserved. He's not this dominant big man that we see out of Giannis, and actually, quite frankly, even out of Embiid and Jokic. I'd rather have those guys before Anthony Davis, and he has a title over the other two. I would honestly rather have those two because they play more aggressive and they play with a certain tenacity that Anthony Davis does not have.
Ladies and gentlemen, to all our listening audience out there, today is Talk TV, a media network Saturday sports show. In studio with me is Zeke Gadu, 14 years old, 13-year-old basketball player here with me in studio. And on the other side, we have my man, Tim, is over there giving us analysis, analytical analysis, unbiased ones, of the various teams when it comes to the NBA. And also, we'll be touching in the end before we take off soccer, what's happening in Africa for the 2022 qualification for the World Cup in Qatar. So we have that coming up. Don't touch the dot. We have you play basketball, right? For what team?
Noah Jaguars.
Noah Jaguars, is that like under 13? What how did
No,
under
they
14?
they go all
You 14. Yeah,
yeah. My
right.
group, the team that I'm on is a group that's 14
How have you guys been doing?
better.
Better? You guys just finished a tournament. It's on in St. Louis.
Hmm.
How was that?
It went fine. We
You talking to the audience, not me.
lost
I'm the interviewer here.
lost 2-1-1.
You guys lost 2 and 1-1 in St. Louis.
Yes.
How many
What do you,
points did you score?
In the tournament,
Yeah.
none.
wow. So
But
what wing do you play on a team then?
shooting guard.
You're a shooting guard?
Hmm.
Okay. Wow. So you guys lost 2 and won 1. And what do you think was the cause of your losses? Of your loss?
Well, we were not making the best passes and we weren't aggressive enough. And
Ah,
that's something that we've been working on in practice.
being aggressive and making good passes. That's good for you to learn something.
Yeah.
Um, every loss in when it comes to sport and life in general, every loss is a learning curve. For you to learn, um, losses life comes with losses. When you lose, you look back why you lost, how you lost, and you do better and you move forward. That's the beauty of losing. What you do when you lose. So yeah, team. Back to the to our discussion out here. But
Hmm.
before we go out there, I before coming on the show, I saw uh, I was reading an article about the Liberian government. You remember a couple of weeks ago, I think a week last week probably I was talking about this, why the Lone Star of Liberia lost, and how come most of the teams, the games they had to play at home, were not being played home. They were playing in other countries because of the stadium not being up to standard, international soccer standard, and the lack of government not being able to undertake that project. So I guess people are hearing our cries for soccer because soccer is a big unifying sports in Africa, and SKD complex is under massive construction going on now, renovation, fixing things up, trying to get it up to date, uh, to get it up to international standards. But how be it, it will have to be for next time, not for this 2022 World Cup that's coming up because the Lone Stars of Liberia are already out of the show because they were beating 2-0 the last time by
Nigeria.
yeah, Nigeria. Um, and then that was it. Even though that match wasn't that important, but Lone Star. But our desire as Liberians is to make sure soccer continues. But it's gonna be very fascinating come 2022, especially all the teams that qualify for the World Cup. There is no small team that you can underestimate because they go through a rigorous competition in Europe, in Africa, here in the Americas. Once this team qualify to play in the World Cup, it requires a lot. You cannot underestimate any team, and that is what makes soccer very fascinating, very enthusiastic. To watch. Can hardly even sit to watch it. I gotta be up and down, being a soccer fan. But back here to the US, man, we're talking a lot today to our listeners about the NBA. Who do you think is set to win the 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 tournament this year, even though it
Um,
just started? Um,
the
you're
final.
giving us the predictions over there. I know I can see your lips shaking. You want to just tell us, because I hope you're not gonna be biased.
I'm
Uh,
I'm not gonna be biased. I feel like when it comes to basketball, and I watch a lot of basketball.
yeah,
I,
basketball. Tell
I
us
mean,
though.
I mean,
Yeah.
you
Just
you
give
and
us
I go way, you and I
but
go
your
way back.
Your own opinion, though, prediction wise, who you think is gonna win?
Uh, the consensus would say the Nets. I say the Nets, only because they have KD and Harden's healthy this year. Do they have Kyrie right now at the moment? No. But will he be back at some point? Yes. And when they are back, they are winning without a doubt.
So what's wrong with Kyrie again?
He's not wanting to comply with COVID-19 protocol as far as being vaccinated, but that's not on the NBA. That is on the state of New York and the state of California. I would say, I think it's specifically the Bay Area, where they're mandating mandating that you be vaccinated before going any type of events or working or anything such. So he's going against that right now. But to get back on basketball,
that's a whole topic by itself to talk about.
It is.
COVID stuff.
It is. Yeah.
But I don't want to even touch it.
I don't. But that's just basically the background of it.
Money wise, he's losing almost like $300,000 to $400,000 per game.
I think it's like close to like 800,000. Him, Harden, and Durant are about 46% of the cap, I want to say.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's KD probably being 20% himself. So that's guesstimation.
So to Kyrie, it's not really about him money.
No, it's not about money.
It's about principle and not forcing things on people.
Yeah. That's a part of that.
America being a land of freedom, a land of liberty. Yeah. We can't be acting like socialist.
Yeah.
A socialist country. I guess.
Yeah. So he's
and probably his beliefs too.
Yeah. So it's from that standpoint. But the Nets are going to be a team that I think that are going to be buyers at the trade deadline for that push to the finals. Another team that is viable to get to the finals, unfortunately I have to say it, and they were in it last year and it was actually a really boring finals, is the Suns. Obviously the Bucks at some point will get healthy and they'll start rolling off, 10 game win streaks.
The Suns, really? You think the Suns? You think? So you're saying the Suns gonna?
I mean, they
might beat the Warriors out of this.
They still have that core together, and they still are the Western Conference champions, right? They've been there before. They are battle tested. They are on a 10-game, 11-game winning streak right now. I can't remember if they won last night. I didn't watch it, but they have a wiser, more experienced, more mature Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, regardless of his contract situation. Their bench, they added shooting with Landry Shamet. Cameron Payne's gotten better. Cam Johnson's gotten better too. Those guys are back to full strength. Chris Paul is leading the league in assists right now at 10.5 a game. So they have the pieces and they are chomping at the bit to get back. So you can't disregard them. But as you said, the Warriors, once they get Clay back, they are gonna get Clay back. They're gonna be very tough to beat because their defense is what it was when they were on that 2016 year when they went 73-9. Their defense is amazing, and they don't have Clay right now, and they don't have Wiseman back either. Who, as we remember last year, he went down with injury last year, and he's battling and he's working through it right now himself. But he's a big man that can run the floor and can shoot the three and is athletic enough and can be used for screens. So when they get that all incorporated into what they're doing right now, that makes them more superior to the Lakers. Definitely better than the Clippers. And the Clippers don't have Kawhi right now. Paul George is doing a fairly good job of keeping that team afloat. They're way better than they are superior right now
Wow.
to everyone in the West, and them and Brooklyn, even though Brooklyn laid an egg the other night against them, would be a great matchup. Would be a great finals matchup for the league.
Zeke, what do you think? What's your take?
Mm, the Bucks, they could get to the finals again, but they're gonna have to step it up. Like you
They
said, their injuries. Once everybody's healthy, then they might just start winning again.
yeah,
The
they're
Bucks. But who you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to win the championship? Just for prediction's sake, right now.
In the East,
Both the East, yeah, the East and the West.
for the East, I think probably the Nets or the Heat. If they can get Duncan Robinson start shooting a lot again, then I think the Heat could make the finals. And for the West, I think the Warriors or the Lakers after they get Clay back.
Wow.
Let me ask you this, Z. Let me ask you this. Do you now for this is just two teams I'll pick that we had spoken about against Brooklyn. Who's the better matchup for Brooklyn in the Eastern Conference Finals? The Heat or the Bucks?
I think the Bucks.
You think the Bucks?
Yes.
Are you basing that off of last year's playoff series?
Yes.
Why you basing it off of last year? You've seen how they played this year so far. But today, this year is a different year than last year, though.
It is, but also too, and I know why he's smiling, because knowing him,
No, he just loves to smile. That's him. Sometimes don't take him by the smile, because sometimes his smile is fake.
But I can tell by what he's thinking, because if you watched that series last year between the Bucks and the Nets, whoever won that series was winning the championship outright, right? And so it ended up happening with the Bucks winning. But like most people remember that last year Kevin Durant's toe was too big to put them away. His foot was on the line when he hit that shot to send it into overtime when they thought it was a 3. But to get to this year, back to this year, I do agree that the Bucks could. I mean, I do see that they would be a good matchup, and I see why, because of the dynamic of Giannis versus Durant. But I think team-wise and who can shut down a team better is the Heat. And I say that because they have those defensive stoppers, and they're missing another key piece in Victor Oladipo, who's coming back from injury himself, an African native, and he's you put him into that mix, that team is way better roster and constructed wise to handle the Nets. And once again, the question comes down to, like you said, Z, that Duncan Robinson's got to get going. They paid him that 5-year, $93 million contract, and he really hasn't done anything so far. I was looking at his box score the last 5 games, and I think he's shot 33% from 3, which if he was a center or a big man that didn't take a lot of threes, that's great. But he's a guard that needs to shoot. And
right.
And teams have figured him out on how to defend him coming off of a curl down in the corner and to shoot the 3 off of a dribble handoff. So it's the Heat's job, but mainly more Duncan's job to figure out how to get easy points, not necessarily from 3, but everywhere else on the floor to open the 3 back up. So and teams are letting them shoot the 2.
So guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come here because, we have about 20 minutes for this Saturday sports show here at Top TV Media Network. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're just going to, tell our listeners the games for today, give a little bit of info. I want you guys to touch a little bit about football for the weekend before we close up out of here. But let's give our listeners a little bit of music out here.
Can I check? Oh, you can. Can I check?
And you're alive too, still.
Feeling it dry in the bathroom? Put it on your counter. That sister can't get it.
Sweet cassava leaf. Cassava leaf is not for goat alone. Even human being can eat it. Those of you who are from Liberia, you know what that means. Cassava leaf is a soup that we eat in Liberia, and also not just Liberia but Africa. Most Africans eat cassava leaf, but amazingly, normally it's termed to be goats. When you put a goat around a cassava leaf, they're gonna eat all the leaves. But importantly enough, it's meant for human being to eat it, and it's a very good soup. When you test it, you will always want to come back. You always want to eat some African food. Today we're talking sports at Talk TV Media Network. Yeah, in Green Country, Oklahoma. I controls the Sam Gado with my man in the house, my important, fantastic guest, 13-year-old man, basketball player, Zeke Gadu. And on the other side, we have my sports contributor out there, Tim Purnell, who's the main giving us the best of information when it comes to sports. Guys, what you guys for the weekend, man? We have a lot of basketball packed for the weekend. Um, we have today alone at 4 p.m. We have the Rockets and the Knicks playing uh, the Heat and the Wizards today at 6. The Pelicans and the Pacers at 6. Thunder and the Celtics today at 6:30. The Hornets and the Hawks 6:30. Um, we have the Magic and the Bucks and the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves today as well. 76ers and the Trailblazers. We have the Jazz and the Kings for today. We have a lot of teams. But let me pick this. I'm a little bit curious because we all live in Green Country, Oklahoma. The Thunders and the Celtics today at 6:30.
Oh,
What do you guys
Celtics.
think about that?
Celtics will win. That's not even. There's no time to waste on that until Sam Presti does something with the rest of those picks and does something that excites the fan base here. Let's not even get into that. I mean, the Thunder are playing decent. Don't get me wrong, they are, but they're not worth talking about as far as being even in discussion of trying to make a playoff or being an up and coming team.
Right.
They're in the rebuild themselves. So, and
So,
Boston right.
it's a lot of work though for the Thunders, and it's a little bit disappointing too when you look at it. All the years that they had to build a team with Westbrook, KD, what's the other guy that
Harden,
went to
Ibaka.
Dallas? Yeah, all those guys, man, and then They were there and they never clinched anything. They had to leave. So it's like the Thunder's gone back to square one all over again. That's a disappointing part, when it comes to the Thunders, don't you think?
Hmm.
Oh yeah, 100%,
Yeah.
100%.
Right.
So the Celtics will win. I'm looking at the schedule right now. I mean, and I think your son will agree. Celtics will win. Bucks will win. Grizzlies will win. It's a toss up between the Blazers and the Sixers. Jazz will win. The the Hornets and the Hawks. That's an interesting one. I'll be watching that tonight on NBA TV. I think the Hornets will win. Wizards and Heat is actually a really good one.
Yeah.
I think the Wizards are surprising a lot of people in the league because they thought that they would be tanking, but the pieces that they got in return in that Westbrook trade have really worked out well. They're at home too against the Heat. I probably watched that game too, but I think the Wizards will win. Pacers and you said the Pacers and the Pelicans. Pelicans without Zion are absolutely nothing. I know they still have Brandon Ingram on there, but they're the roster construction that David Griffin has done around Ingram and Zion has been horrible. So I have the Pacers winning, and my Knicks versus the Rockets. This is a classic '93, or excuse me, classic '94 NBA Finals matchup. I have the
Right.
Knicks winning. So
Wow. What you make up of? Let me bring you quick because of time factor.
mhm.
To there's no way I'm gonna have it. We will have a sports show without me not bringing in NBA, no NFL when it comes to the enough football conference
I never seen
center with the Cowboys topping the table right now with 7 wins, 2 losses. The Eagles and the Giants in that. What you make up, man, of the Cowboys? They're going game.
Cowboys versus Chiefs tomorrow. I'm going to be watching that game. One thing I'm going to be interested to see is how Andy Reid incorporates the run against the Cowboys front seven. Uh, I think they're going to be doing a lot of cover two to disguise their packages against Mahomes, especially on the check down. So they'll probably be playing the check downs a lot. Um, but I think I have the Chiefs winning just because they're at home. It's a prime time game, and the Chiefs are on top of their division finally after 10 weeks of the season.
Mhm.
Like I told you last week, the Cowboys have nothing to worry about in that division. They have absolutely nothing to worry about in that division. Um, so they'll win the division, Sam. I'll just let you know your team will win the division.
Uh,
It's just that this week I don't see them winning on the road against the Chiefs. The Chiefs are starting to find that momentum. They could easily set up to now be hosting a playoff game. So
wow.
it's just that game will be good. Don't get me wrong. That game's going to be good.
You
So
mean tomorrow's game?
yes, that game will be good.
You're gonna make me. You're gonna force me to watch it, man. The Cowboys gotta go, man. You see, the Cowboys gotta go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's at 325. Yeah,
yeah. I gotta watch that. You know me, I'm a Cowboy fan. Even if I'm in studio, I will still have it watch it on the big monitor right here.
do it,
Uh, I can't let it pass by me.
do it.
Yeah. What you said?
the Cowboys. In their first game this season, they almost beat the Buccaneers. They lost by a field goal, so I think that they can win the Chiefs on Sunday.
You think they can win the Chiefs?
Yeah,
Are you saying that because you're trying to please your daddy here? Uh, from your
they lost. They lost to the Buccaneers. Tom Brady by a field goal
really?
in their first game.
Wow. And you think Cowboys gonna win
Mm-hmm.
this time around? That's a lot of confidence, man. This guy's having the Cowboys.
I
It seems
I
like it
I
seems
don't
like
see it this week. I don't see it this week.
I
But I
like
mean,
that guy back there.
yeah,
Yeah,
I got Captain America back here. My son's
yeah, I
name
like
is
Captain America back
Yeah.
there, man. That's sports right there. That's my man right there. Yeah, yeah, Captain America. But yeah, we're gonna have a very fascinating game team of plays this today and this weekend. in all sports, NBA, NFL, wherever you turn, wherever you look. You
Yep.
know, it's going to be very interesting to watch.
Yep.
You just, I guess, one just has to pick what you want to watch.
Well,
You know,
I will.
not to do justice to the AFC. Right now we have what? We have the Bills with 6 wins and the Chiefs with 6 wins. All of that. What do you think of this? Man, their scores and their standings too close, a little competitive.
Yeah. I'll touch briefly on the AFC East. I don't know if you watched the game Thursday, but New England looks like New England of old when they had Tom Brady.
Right.
But now they have Mac Jones, and now that team defensively is hard to score against. They've averaged 25 plus points per game win margin their last 4 games. And the interesting thing about it is that they probably will overtake the Bills in that division. So
Wow.
as I think Blank Panther over here will agree.
I
Yeah,
can tell. That's
yeah,
why he
yeah,
said it seems like he's agreeing with what you're saying.
yeah, and you know, I mean, the Bills are still a good team. Don't get me wrong. Josh Allen is the quarterback of that division in
Right.
the AFC, but the coach and the team, in my opinion, of that division is Bill Belichick and the Patriots. I hate saying that because I'm a Jets fan and I despise the Patriots, but I can't deny that when Belichick,
Oh, you won't be in my house if you're doing that because
yeah,
you know the lady in the house is a Patriot fan. I don't think you will eat her food when she cook.
oh
You
no,
know.
oh no, my wife's a Chiefs fan. My wife's a Chiefs fan, but
Oh wow.
yeah. So
My house is
she's
divided. My house
yeah,
is divided. I mean, there are Cowboy players, there are
Steelers.
Steelers, there are Seahawks. You know, too many of them, and so it's a fight in the house, man. And so I'm glad this year everybody will watch football because the Cowboys are on top of things. But when the Cowboys are losing, man, I take control of my TV. You know
when the Cowboys are losing, I think most of America's happy. The rest of America's
what?
happy
Why you say that?
because Jerry Jones has turned that franchise into just an like all, let's just be honest, all sports is entertainment, right? We do this because we are entertained by what they do, but
Right.
he has specifically made like the decisions that he has made over the years for that team has cost them a chance to win, I'll say the ability to get to a championship, to win a Super Bowl. He has cost him that by overpaying Zeke, overpaying, DeMarco Murray way back in the day. And he's done that as well as, with his big mouth running saying, "Hey, we are going to win. We are America's team. We are the best team." When in reality, they really aren't. If you look at it, America's best team really is probably the Patriots. If you think about it.
No.
I
The
say that because
America's baby team is the Cowboys.
no,
And that remains
money
and that's a fact.
money wise, they are the wealthiest team in sports, right?
Who?
Because Jerry Jones is a
Who?
great
Who? Tell
marketer.
me that. Who's the wealthiest team in sports?
That's the Cowboys,
And who's
unfortunately.
leading the chart right now?
But
Who's
look,
leading the chart right now?
how many championships have they won since
Who's leading the chart
'95?
right now? The Cowboys, right?
How many championships
I
have they
rest
won
my
since
case. I rest my
'95?
case. You watch out. All right.
Answer this.
The,
Answer
the,
this for
the
me.
sports in itself, team is a money sport.
It is 100%.
It's a money sport. So if the owner wants to pay XYZ player X amount of money, it's left with him. That's his pocket.
It
Right?
is, but is it producing championships? Has he produced a championship?
I mean, look, this is what makes
He
me
has not
a
produced a
fan.
championship. You can't say anything. You can't be America's team if you're not in the running every year, in and out, and winning championships. Look, I'm a
Right.
Yankees fan, right? I'm wearing Yankees right now. We're the most one of the top billionaire franchises in the world. Everyone knows us by the N and the Y. Everyone makes fun of us when we don't win. When we don't even get to a championship, right? And
Yeah.
deservedly so, because everyone says, oh, you guys are overpaid. You guys pay for all your stars. We haven't really. We've gone with a different approach. But you don't see us in the media saying, hey, you don't see the owner, Hal Steinbrenner, being like, hey, we're going to win, yada, yada, yada. No, he's not like his father, right? But what you do see in the Yankee aspect is you'll see us say, hey, we have 27 championships. We expect to be in a championship every year. That's what we expect. We do get to the playoffs every year, right? We do get to that point of getting to an ALCS or to it.
But when last year won the championship?
Yeah, we haven't won a championship since 2009, right? 10 years. But the Cowboys, on their case with Jerry Jones, they haven't won a championship since I was 6. In 1995, the last championship they won was against the Steelers. I remember because I lived in Pittsburgh at the time, and everyone in Pittsburgh was going for that championship.
So looking, well, that's your take. I mean, to be honest, that's your take, and I feel like sports is like a biscuit. You know, when you have a biscuit in your hand, you don't know which side is going to break. Sometimes you could be the best player. It breaks anytime. You can have all the best of money and the best of fame, but it's like it's sports in general is like a biscuit, man. It breaks.
It is
wherever it decides to break, and that's how it has been for the Cowboys. It's unfortunate that part of it of winning the championship, but it is what it is. We've made the sports very much entertaining. You know,
Jerry Jones makes it entertaining. The Cowboys are his puppets.
What do you think about all of this, man? Little man. Before we take up, we have about 4 minutes to be out of here. You know, what do you think about all NBA? And don't you think Cowboys we are the best team? I didn't tell you to lie. I don't need answers from you. I need you to talk.
Right now, no.
You said no. Who's the best team right now?
Best team right now.
Cowboys. Not Cowboys, but you said not Cowboys, but who then?
Probably.
See, if the Cowboys can't be the best team, he don't know. He ends up with the Cowboys.
He's saying that because he has to go home and he has
no. He has his freedom to speak his mind. You know, he has his.
he doesn't want his TV privileges taken away when the Cowboys are losing tomorrow. So,
but he's gonna watch it. He's gonna watch it.
But the best team right now in this season is this season alone. That you could say the Cowboys are up there, but really, honestly, it's the Cardinals, the Packers, Tennessee, and I'm going to have to put the Patriots up there, and the Buccaneers are, but the Buccaneers are dealing with injuries, and they're not really good and their defense isn't healthy right now. Their secondary's banged up everywhere, but I mean, the Cowboys do have a shot this year, right? They do have a shot this year to win a Super Bowl, to get to an NFC championship. But I'm talking about a culmination of the last 25 plus years. They have not. They have really laid eggs. They've had some good teams in some good years, and they did get screwed one year. I will say this: they did get screwed when Dez Bryant did catch that ball, and then they called it back, and Green Bay ended up winning that game. But they just aren't. They are consistently inconsistent year in and year out of performing at a high level.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how we're going to roll out of here for this segment of our sport edition, this 20th day of November 2021. I've been having in the studio with me Zeke and Gadu and Tim Purnell on the other end, and discussing sports in general, bringing you the highlights of what's happening in NBA, football, basketball, and soccer. And this time next week, every Saturday at 12 noon, 1 hour show from 12 to 1, we'll be here, same place, same station. We would love you to share the video to all your different platforms and let your friends know. Be a part of this and call in. We'd love to hear from you, your opinion. What you think when it comes to sport. And we are doing this because of you, because we are the voice for the voiceless. Um, Zeke, what's your last word for our listening audience before we take a leave?
Mm,
Are you happy for being on the show today?
yes.
So, any word for all the teams out there playing this weekend? Any word of encouragement?
Try your hardest. Don't give up, even if you're losing.
You got any shout out to send out there?
Shout out to my family at home and my teammates and my mom that work
Oh,
and you.
how you gonna give me a shout out? I'm sitting down right before you.
I mean, hey, it's still a shout out.
Yeah, any shout out in your parting comments, man, team?
Oh man. First off, you for allowing me to be on here. Go Pokes, go Oklahoma State. We got to win. We got a big game tonight against Texas Tech. We need that win, secure our spot in the Big 12 championship, and then we got Bedlam next week. Shout out back home, back east, New York, and really, that's it.
All right. That's a special shout out to the Oklahoma Sooners right now. They are in the lead. Second half is just about to start. The score right now is 7-14 with Oklahoma OU taking the lead. That's my boy, the Cowboys, man. Not the Cowboys, the Sooners. They are in the game, man. The Sooners are playing, and the second half just started. Right now, that's another team of mine that's doing a whole lot this year when it comes to football as well. But that's a whole different top. I'm not gonna pick your mouth on that team. The next time probably I will.
I mean, Bedlam's next week, so I don't know if I'll be on the show. Bedlam's next week.
We'll see. We'll talk about that. Let's get off the air for now. For you, our listening audience, I'll be here tomorrow at 2 p.m. to 3. Talk TV Gospel Show. We'll be discussing religion and gospel music. Be a part of the show. I'll be waiting for you right here, same place, same time, same station. Talk TV Media Network. We are all over. We are here to stay. Until then, you have a fantastic weekend. Spend some good time with your loved ones, your family, your children. All right. Sam Gadu.